So at this moment, this is how.
Now, in this video, I'm going to be revealing to you the danger of a presidential petition election misjudgment. The misjudgment, the danger of giving an unfair judgment on that very day. Now, this is coming from Sir Isaac Newton. Of course, he's a man with a huge reputation in the history of the study of science, especially in the areas of physics and mathematics. He introduced groundbreaking and many fundamental principles, laws, and concepts that form the basis of many modern-day studies in the physics. Now, one such in the classic famous three laws of motion regarding an object and forces that impact it. The derivative from the third laws is what is of interest in this write-up. For the sake of simplicity, the law can be said to imply that actions and reactions are equal and opposite. This can also be expressed that the interaction of two objects leads to them impacting the same level of forces on such order but in opposite direction. Now, the Nigerian Constitution and the Nigerian political terrain of democracy and of course the Nigerian people, Nigeria judicial system beacon is currently carried by the Nigerian Court of Appeal, which is the court approved by the law to act as the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal to handle issues of dispute arising from presidential election. The decision or judgment that will emanate from the Appeal Court of Nigeria, i.e. the Presidential Tribunal PEPT on the current presidential election petition like never before is bound to have a reverberation effect, the size of which can either become a catalyst to take Nigeria and Nigerians forward and lead us into rapid progression in growth and development, or send us into an abyss of almost no return. The Presidential Election Petition Tribunal has 5 justices who will be presiding over the presidential petition cases. Before them need to know that judgment without justice will simply amount to miscarriage of justice, or better stated, or a misjudgment. Now, misjudgment in the tribunal has a lot of dangers embedded in it. While some of the dangers may be long-term, which may be slow and may not be immediately visible, a lot of them may be instantaneous in their negative impact on Nigeria and Nigerians. The main purpose of the write-up is to bring into the notice of the judicial majority and to a small extent to the attention of some of the Nigerian political class who are unrepentantly and extremely corrupt in their conduct, as well as very recalcitrant in their anti-people mode of pursuit of political ambition and relevance. This is to open the eyes of the judiciary, especially the 5 justices presiding over the petition, the need for them not to capitulate to any form of pressure, endorsement, intimidation, or blackmail that the corrupt political class may bring to bear on them in order to make them change the right course of justice and judgment. Some of these dangers are discussed in the following paragraphs. You see, before we go in, we should understand that before the election, I don't know, some people were having this feeling like this was the last hope Nigeria have to fix the country. Yes, I equally have that feeling before the election was conclusive. I equally have that feeling that once, this is just part 1, I'm going to split it into part 4. Once election or the judges do not pass the right judgment, I feel that this is the last time that Nigeria will exist as a country. Even though it exists as a country, we'll just be living like those who are living in the jungle. So, number 1 is potential breakup of Nigeria. One of the biggest challenges that may arise from misjudgment in the case before Presidential Election Petition Tribunal is the danger of the continued existence of Nigeria as a single entity. Nigeria before now has always experienced challenge in terms of attaining unity of nationhood as a result of many fault lines of division which include but not limited to tribe, religion, education, politics, economy, political appointments, civic service, recruitment, military and security forces recruitment, infrastructure development, revenue allocation, resources control, etc. Aside from participation in football or sporting activities, virtually all national public or government actions and activities are viewed from the microscope of these differentiating divisive factors. Emergence of Nigerian president have always been a sensitive subject as a result of some factors listed above. There is an unwritten but general widely acceptable ethnical rule about Nigerian's presidency under the democratic mode of government that has to do with the reality of the principle of rotation between the southern and northern parts of the country. This is also found in the expression in the religious balancing of the presidential and the vice presidential candidacy based on the Christian and Muslim faiths. Nigeria has been immersed in some sort of section agitation for separation or division of the country along ethnic and many other lines based primarily on a huge unfair sense of justice in different forms. Example, view of some sections of the people of the country who are yet to produce a president since the current democratic status started in 1999. INEC based on a new electoral law that allows the use of technology gave many citizens of Nigeria including those with some level of agitation about several issues some level of calmness and hope that votes will indeed count for the election and the process will be fair enough. Nigerian people irrespective of tribe or religion would make a choice acceptable to them probably for the first time, while the process may have been tampered with due to deliberate human interference. Many are merely waiting and hoping the courts can and will correct the anomaly. Any perceived misjudgment or sense of injustice, separation or breakup of entity called Nigeria may happen, which may lead to bigger and even bigger agitation. And this is just part one. We'll get into part two in my next video. But I am very, very sure that if there's a misjudgment, there's going to be an agitation. And this time around, bullets and gun may not help politicians to stop the level of revolution that is coming to Africa. Because it's enough time we appoint people to rule us and they'll go and gather guns and gather weapons and start killing us. I think it's enough time. It's enough time everybody must hide this their tribalism for a better Africa. They can't be fighting us outside the country and we're fighting ourselves. That is why the enemies are invading. Yes. Thanks for supporting the Future News. Peace.